Hi, my name is Kelly. I live just outside Washington, D.C., and I'm recently returned from a fabulous trip to Peru with my family. And our group included my two twin boys who are 15 and my 17-year-old daughter who's visually impaired, my sister and her boyfriend. And we started in Cusco in the Sacred Valley, and then ended up going to Lake Titicaca and then back to Lima for just a very quick sort of day trip before we headed back to the States. It was a tricky business, really, getting to find somebody who would understand what it's like to try to juggle all of the different needs that our group was going to have. This mix of adults and kids, this mix of kids themselves. It's not easy, but with talking with Annalise and working with the different guides that we had, it was a completely stress-free experience, and I never had to worry about whether any of them was having a great time. I could tell by the looks on their faces they were. And when my sister and I talked with Annalise at the outset, we planned about a year in advance to really get a good sense of what sorts of likes, dislikes everybody had in the group, etc. And just from that one phone call, Annalise came up with an itinerary that was outstanding. We got to do things that, like, for example, we went to, when we were in Ollantaytambo, our guide Marisol, who was fabulous, kept all the kids' attention, and again, not easy, made them laugh. She took a hammerstone and she had all of them hold it, and so that helped my, just little things like that, like helped my visually impaired daughter not feel singled out, so she could do everything everybody else could do. And on the rare occasion that she felt she wanted to sit out, Marisol made sure in the first part of the trip when we were with her, and then our other guides when we went to Lake Titicaca, Sandra, and then Carolina when we went to Lima, made sure that Sarah always had something that she would enjoy doing, while her brothers went and ran off to do something that was more active, whether it was running up 10 sets of Inca stairs or surfing or what have you. So the really careful attention to detail in setting the plan to start with was really important for us. It was, I don't think I've ever experienced less stress once we arrived at a place. All of the transportation was where it was supposed to be, when it was supposed to be there. All of our guides were incredibly knowledgeable, knew everything there was to know, had facts that were interesting for the teenagers, again, not easy. But my daughter was able to be so included with no problem at all. When we went to somewhere that was making alpaca sweaters, she got to see the alpacas. She got to feed them at this one restaurant we went to that had spectacular views everywhere. The food was incredible, and we knew exactly where to go because our guides told us, and they just didn't miss ever. I think about some of the really creative things that I wouldn't have known to ask for or do, and I mean, Vamos just kind of baked it all in, which was incredible. For example, when we went to go see some of the areas where the Incas had done some like agricultural experimentation, there were seashells in the earth, and so Marisol found, even though my daughter couldn't really see some of the sites that were further away because of her vision, Marisol found some little seashells just nearby that Sarah was able to hold and get a sense of some of the really cool stuff that was around there. So all things considered, I mean, we were led around Machu Picchu with no problem, and Marisol was really careful about exactly, I mean, she knew that place like the back of her hand, and she was really careful about the best way for my daughter to make her way around that was going to be optimal for her. And if there was some area that was going to be too tricky to get to, that my daughter said, no, I don't want to go over there. I'd rather stay on a different path or whatever. Marisol was able to just adjust on the fly, no problem. So so my daughter was able to finish hiking Machu Picchu with no problem, and she was so proud of herself. And we had alpaca burgers to celebrate, and it was just really wonderful. And then Marisol also made sure that whenever we were going anywhere on the train or whatever, everybody was always very well taken care of. That Sarah always had the best seat, and it was just kind of all incredibly well executed. There was never a situation where my daughter felt singled out, or like someone who was kind of out of place or a bother or anything. I mean, everybody was able to do everything. So that was something that I wouldn't have known how to do myself, but luckily, our friends at Vamos thought of everything for us. And the little touches here and there, just to check in, make sure everything was going okay over WhatsApp, or when Annalise came to our surfing lesson and had brought towels with her, which we of course didn't have with us. That was just, it felt really special to be taken care of in that way. So it was different than any other kind of travel company or anything I'd ever worked with. So I really cannot recommend the folks at Vamos highly enough. We have fabulous pictures and memories, and all of these fabulous things will last a lifetime. I've already told several friends about Vamos, so they may be hearing from them soon. But anyway, I'm happy to talk more about my experience with anybody who has specific questions or just wants to hear me rave about my vacations. So please feel free to reach out to me at any time. Thanks.